Hi, I'm Klaus Torp. I'm an anesthesiologist and diving and hyperbaric medical medicine specialist at the Mayo Clinic in Florida. And we are here at the Mayo Clinic Diving and Hyperbaric Medicine 2023 course in beautiful Cozumel. This time we invited Jim Elliott from Diveheart because I'm thinking we're very like-minded organizations that will go very far in this theme we have for this course to keep divers diving.
So I'm excited about being here. When you came up to me at DEMA and said you like to present at a Mayo conference, would Diveheart like to come? I said, Mayo? I said, of course. I said, that would be wonderful. I said, where's your conference? And you said, Cozumel. And I went, well, that makes sense. You're at a dive show asking me to come to talk to Mayo doctors. So this has been really eye-opening for us. Tina Marie and I are really excited about being here and being able to dive and talk outside of the presentations too has been really important because we're getting to know the doctors. In fact, some have even said that they would like to help us get programs going at some of the clinics in Jacksonville.
Yeah, so I agree with everything you say. I think the networking is just as important as the academic presentations. And thank you, because we learned a lot from your presentation yesterday in terms of how could we make a diver dive again. Those typically will be already certified divers, as you have shown us. And this fits perfectly with our theme to keep divers diving. Older divers, divers with cancer, divers with after orthopedic injuries, divers after other medical ailments that other people would just say no. And we really want to see if we can get them back in the water. And your adaptive diving practices will help a lot.
I was very pleased with the result that we got after the presentation. All the doctors that came up and said how moved they were. I believe in stories, as a media guy, and think that when tears, I saw tears in people's eyes.
I had one.
yeah, I think that shows how powerful stories are, and I think that bringing David Marsh to this conference was a good idea too, because I think in talking to a lot of the doctors and getting their perspective on adaptive scuba and scuba as a therapy, I think is really going to go a long way in what you're trying to do as well, because the way he puts together stories is really going to help us help you, and you help us together kind of move the ball forward on scuba therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I think how we can work together well is because you believe in stories. Mayo Clinic believes in research and so forth. So I think this is a great way to work together, is getting the stories. It's kind of like a case report, and then evolve towards like some sort of a research project, so we can spread the word through you, through Dave Marsh, to have other patients see it and then come and try to benefit from the therapy. But case reports are great, anecdotes are fine. But afterwards, we really need to follow this up with some research, to show the rest of the medical community that yes, it can be done. And you've done already some work with Johns Hopkins, but this would be the way I think to go forward. You see it, you say, okay, I've seen it. This works great. Now, how do we diffuse it in more medical research terms to other people, so that more patients can benefit from this? And I think that's how we change medicine. That's how we change scuba diving, adaptive diving.
Absolutely. 22 years ago, when I founded Diveheart, I knew intuitively that, and I'm not a doctor or therapist, as you know, but intuitively I knew that this would help individuals with disabilities, primarily thinking physical disabilities, getting people out of wheelchairs. And as you know, one of the thrills for me is to, first time I get them standing up and they look down and go, oh my God, I'm standing up underwater for the first time. That's the payoff for me. And I think partnering with you and all the different, I think it's brilliant, all the different disciplines of doctors you brought, Hyperbaric and the whole menu. And there's all these different avenues, and research is what we've honestly been going for, and I think partnering with Mayo is going to help bring the entire industry, not just Diveheart, but the whole industry to another level.
Yeah, and I think we can't do it without you. Doctors can't do it without you. I think you're right, and in your presentations you stressed that you want to do research, build a pool, warm water pool to do more research, to follow up what you see with some research, to make sure more people can benefit from this. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Is yes, I have some ideas about doing hyperbaric rehab right, doing it well, and doing it likely in the water, because one, you're weightless, which you cannot achieve in a hyperbaric chamber. You can offload somebody's pressures, which in a hyperbaric chamber you cannot do. You can see pretty fish, which a hyperbaric chamber you will not be able to do. So I think there's something to it that we just need to wrap our heads around and validate it with some good research, which we can do. Other institutions certainly can do, but this is where I think we should move forward.
Yeah, some of the things you said to me made me smile when you first started talking about enriched air and oxygen, using it underwater, where a person can be free and get full benefit of range of motion while they're getting enriched air, and it's helping them with all sorts of things. I mean, circulation, oxygenation of tissue and stuff, and how can that not help someone, right?
Right. And you mentioned you had already some research, some basic research from increased serotonin levels and so forth. But right now, this is anecdotes. What you see, what I think will happen. Now it's really a matter of trying to get together and make this a project. Find funding, find the people with disabilities, and I said not patients, because patients to me is a bit of an anonymous word. I think persons or people is better, but find people with who could benefit from this, and then try this out, and then publish it, do it as a research project, so we can then have other organizations, other hospitals keep helping more people than you and I ever could.
Yeah, I think that's really exciting. When I was in Malaysia, I presented at a medical conference last year, and one thing they said that they would love to do is do collaborative research with folks like you here in the U.S. And the same thing when I went to Israel. I presented at a hospital there, and it was like, if we can get this going internationally, we can really do great things together.
Yeah. And I think this is the beginning of a great partnership in keeping divers diving. And I'm looking forward to working with you.
Yeah, together we're going to help people imagine the possibilities in their lives, my friend.
Absolutely.